In this video, we are going to learn about equilibrium price, and its determination. So first, let us understand what is equilibrium. Now, equilibrium is kind of a balance if you talk about this word generally. But when you talk about equilibrium in economics, what it refers to is the state or the market condition in which where the consumers, who's the consumer? A consumer is the buyer, or producers. Producer is the seller of goods, someone who makes goods and sells them, do not want to change. Which means that if the consumer is looking at buying a particular quantity of goods at a particular price, so let's say he wants to buy 10 units at a particular price, and also if the seller wants to sell 10 units at a particular price, they do not want to change, right? The equilibrium price is thus determined by the demand and the supply, right? So let us look at what exactly does an equilibrium price means. Equilibrium price is the price at which the sellers of the good are willing to supply same quantity. Now this is important. Same quantity of goods which the buyers of the good are willing to buy. Let me show you this through an example. Let's suppose say the price in the market is 20 rupees. At this price, the buyer of the goods is demanding 8 units of commodity. Because the price is high, why I'm saying it is high? Because the three conditions are 20, 15 and 10 are the three prices. Since the price is high, the seller wants to supply a higher quantity of goods. He wants to sell 12 units, but the buyer only demands 8, right? So the seller won't be able to sell the entire units of commodity, right? Or the quantity. If the price falls from 20 to 15, what we notice is that the demand goes up. Why? Because there's a decrease in the price, the demand has increased, right? But the supply has gone down, because the moment there's a decrease in the price, the profitability goes down, and therefore the supply which is going to happen, or the supply which the sellers of the goods are willing to do, goes down from 12 units to 10 units. Let us look at this further. If the price decreases further from 15 to 10, the demand again increases from 10 to 15 units, but the supply goes down, right? So when I talk about equilibrium price, it is the price at which the demand and supply, the quantity which the sellers of goods are willing to supply and the quantity of which the buyers of the goods are willing to buy is the same. Therefore, in this example, the equilibrium price is what? It is 15. Because here the quantity demanded is 10, the quantity sold is 10, and therefore this is the price at which these two units are equal, and this is what is known as equilibrium price. But how is equilibrium price determined? So if there are fixed number of firms in the market, right? If we are looking at a very short period, right, there will be a fixed supply, because to increase supply, you need to increase the factors of production, right? The distribution network and everything. That will not happen overnight. So in a very short period, the supply is fixed, right? So if there are 100 units of supply which are available, this is going to remain fixed. The demand will determine the price. Why? Because if the demand is, let's say, 50 units, which is less than the quantity supplied, the price will be on the lower side. Whereas if the demand for this commodity is 300 units, right, which is on the higher side, the price is going to be high. So in a very short period, it is the supply which plays the important part. In a short period, the equality of demand and supply will determine price, because this quantity may be adjusted to some extent. But in a long period, it is the supply which is going to determine the price. Right? So the determination of equilibrium price is considered by three factors: what is the demand, what is the supply, and then how is the equilibrium between demand and supply achieved. The equilibrium price will be achieved at a place where the demand is equal to the supply. If the demand is higher, right, there is an excess demand, therefore the price is going to increase. If the supply is higher than the demand, then the price may come down. Let's look at an example to see this part. If the price is 20, the demand is 8, the supply is 12. There is an excess supply in the market. 4 units, which is the excess supply, is going to remain unsold. When the price goes down from 20 to 8, the demand slightly increases from 8 to 9. The supply goes down from 12 to 11, but there is still 2 units of commodity which is in excess supply. Similarly, if the price is 13, the demand is 12, supply is 9, there is 3 units of demand which is more, so we say there is an excess demand. But at a price of 15, I'm not getting into 10 because this is something similar to 13, the demand is 10 and the supply is also 10, and this is where the equilibrium is achieved. This price is known as the equilibrium price, and the state of market is known as market equilibrium.